Cumberland Village Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for April 21st, 2021. And before we get underway and I explain the mechanics of the meeting, I'd like to ask our member, Nancy Iglesias-Gillen, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. You're on mute, Nancy.
Just realized it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic from which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And the way we will work this meeting this evening is there are 5 applications that appear on the docket. We'll hear them in the order in which they appeared in the public notice. We will read each application. The applicant will then come on and explain the variance they're looking for, take any questions that the board has. And if there's anyone who has signed up to make comments, they'll be able to do that as well. The way we're working with the Zoom situation is if there's any member of the public that would like to make a comment about any one of the applications this evening, they have set the next 7 days to file those comments in the clerk's office, and we'll take them under consideration for our decision making. Okay. We have legally 60 days from the time an application is made to render a decision. It usually does not take us that length of time, especially with very simple applications. The exceptions are when we need to do additional research or we may ask the applicant for additional information, and we're waiting till that gets back to us, so we can include that in our deliberations. We do not, the 60-day clock doesn't start until we feel we have a complete docket before us to make a decision. So with that, I'll ask for application number 1. Jeff?
Okay, Mr. Chairman. Application number 1, application of Joan Tavolacci, 20 Washington Street, Babel, New York, for permission to maintain an existing 10 by 18 foot chicken run coop on the premises located at 20 Washington Street, Babel. Property located in A7 District, Suffolk County Real Property Tax Map District 0102, Section 3, Block 2, Lot 66. Application made in accordance with Sections 365-62B and 365-35.
Can you hear me?
Good evening. Yes. Can you hear us?
Who are you? Okay. Here I am. All right. The was mistakenly put on 20 Washington Street, which is my home. The application is for 16 Washington, which is a vacant piece of property next to the home. It doesn't really, logistically, it doesn't matter, but that's what it's for.
Okay.
Did any of you get the PDF that I sent over with pictures?
Yes.
Maureen, did you? Everyone has it? Okay. So what I am asking for is just permission to my chickens as pets. They're not, I don't do any kind of commercial farming. I don't sell eggs. I barely get eggs, actually. And for the sake of understanding what I'm asking for, on the third page of the pictures is what a coop actually is. It's not a coop that chickens sleep, just a little tiny space where they nest. The run is basically just 4x4s with some chicken wire on that, and that protects them from any kind of animals that would be in the vicinity. Foxes we have in the area, ghosts, or chicken hawks that fly around. So that is basically it. It's not a structure. It has no roof. It has only sides made of wire. And in the picture, you can see what it is. That little house is where they sleep. So that's my application right there.
Okay.
I don't know if any of you can you do.
Okay.
And I sent these pictures over for point of reference. These chickens are our pets. My husband originally got them because it was suggested to him that it would lower his blood pressure, which is incredibly high. And they're kind of therapy animals for him. He sits there and he talks to them and they coo at him. And you know, he spends a lot of time with them, and they are our pets. They come in our house. They spend time in our house. We feed them. If you can see the pictures, they sit on the table. They have what we call chicken diapers. So they're a diaper just like a child. So, you know, contain all of their droppings and so forth. And they just love to spend time with us. They sit with us. We watch television with them. So these are truly pets, and that was my point. They are not farm animals in the sense of farm animals. So I guess the application for the structure of the 4x4s, which is not really a structure anyway. So
Right. How long have
go
you?
ahead.
Did you hear me? How long have you had that?
I guess about 2 years. Maybe 3 years. I'm forgetting the whole COVID.
Okay. And then how was it that you came to you knew you had to see us?
I got a summons from Steve,
Okay.
and when I applied for, we discussed with him in the office that there was a part of the zoning code that would allow us to have pets if you guys would agree that they were indeed pets and not just I wasn't running a farm on my property. So that's how we got here.
Okay. Now you said they sleep outside in this penned area, right? They're fed out there too?
One goes with the other.
Right. Okay. Okay. Do you have a rooster also? Hello. Can you hear me?
Sorry.
No problem. You're much clearer than you were before.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well.
I can't hear you.
Oh,
Damn it.
no. Can you hear us now?
I can't hear you.
No. You want to try to reconnect?
It's so frustrating.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. You can't hear us?
Can you hear me again? Now I can hear you.
Now you can.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought what was saying? Someone was speaking.
Just to chime in, if you do continue to have issues with the video and the audio, you can drop off and call in just with the audio number that was in the invite and just be on audio only. That'll work. But just as an option.
Yeah, I can't hear you now though.
Okay,
Oh, there you go.
you can hear me?
Yeah, it's kind of garbled if you can speak up. So
All right.
my
I don't know if
question,
you were anything.
yeah, my question was, you mentioned that they sleep in this home in the pen, and I'm assuming they also, you feed them there as well?
No, they have hanging feeders off the ground that are basically a plastic bucket that they peck out inside of there. They don't eat where they sleep. No.
But they're in the penned area though. They're outside in the pen.
Yes, it's in the
Yeah. Okay.
in the penned area. Yes, that is where they eat and do their thing all day. Yeah.
Okay. And is there a rooster as well?
Never. No.
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 Okay. How many
No, roosters
are
is-
there?
There are 5.
5? And there have been 5 all along?
No, there have been 2. There have been 4. Occasionally, like I said, the hawk had gotten one of them, but no, they're between 4 and 5.
Okay.
That's how many we have. That's a manageable number.
Okay. Now so you've gotten a couple of summonses. Have you ever talked to the neighbors? Ever mentioned anything?
No, the neighbors love them, actually. They bring the kids over, and it's kind of, I have no problems with the neighbors, as far as I know.
Okay. Okay, I don't have any other questions. I don't know, gentleman, the lady?
No, I have nothing.
Any questions?
Jeff, you're muted. I mean, John, you're muted.
Yeah, I was having trouble finding the button. What are you doing to control rodents and things that are attracted to the chicken feed and the chicken droppings and everything else.
Okay, so for one, chickens eat rodents, they kill them, so there's no problem there. They're actually carnivores, which you probably don't know. If there was a rodent, it would be annihilated by the chickens. And I also have 3 cats that run free and spend time. I don't know if you saw the pictures also. They go in the coop, they sit with the chickens, they play with the chickens, the 3 of them. They all get along. So if there were even any rodents, anything, those cats would also annihilate them. We've never had a problem with rodents. All the food is off the ground. There's a cleaning service that comes to clean out the straw weekly. We've never had a problem with anything. Keeping them clean, because they come in my house, is extremely important. It's a priority of ours. It always has been since we got them when they were little.
Okay. Anybody else? Questions?
What kind of veterinary care do these animals require? They're unlike cats or dogs, which need some veterinary care. If children are handling them, your neighbors are coming over to see them, what kind of veterinary care are you giving those animals?
They don't require a lot of veterinary care. When they are sick or down with something, there's an aviary veterinarian in Great Neck that I bring them to. They'll give them a dose of antibiotics, but otherwise they don't require a lot of care. They don't require shots or vaccinations.
Okay.
They're just basically healthy overall. The only time they're not healthy is if they eat something bad, or they get a little bit of a respiratory problem, but that is taken care of by antibiotics.
Okay. And then how is the
Generally,
food?
they're very-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, you
No, go
can
ahead.
finish.
That's all. I was just saying, I have very few problems because I feed them organic food,
Okay.
and I make all of their food myself with lettuces and tomatoes and fresh herbs. So they stay very healthy.
Okay. And then how is the food stored out? Is there any food stored outside, and how is it stored? What type of containers?
There is not food stored outside. The food is stored in my porch in tight containers because the raccoons would love that. And the food that they receive is inside of that pen run that stays closed, and it's in a hanging container where they just peck at it with their beaks inside of it. There's no open containers of food anywhere.
Okay.
Never mind for the rodents, but for the health of the chicken, it just stays healthier. It's just pellet. It's like dog pellet almost, like kibble.
Mhm.
But it's made of a different material.
Okay. Thank you.
It's dry food. There's nothing wet. Yeah.
Other than the food you prepare for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
rarely. I'll go out there and hand feed them lettuces and
Okay.
You mentioned raccoons. Are there issues with raccoons trying to get at them?
no, because I don't have anything exposed. Well, my garbage, that's another issue with the town that I have to call because they haven't been picking it up lately. I don't know why. So the raccoons love to open up my garbage hood. I have a little house at season and they love to go in there, but I know that they're around. They're all over the place because right down the street, less than a quarter of the mile, is Southern Pond. So they're all over there. So I have to keep all of that food. I mean, they just make a mess, never mind them eating the food. They just throw everything everywhere. So I'm very cautious about keeping it locked up, closed up. They can't get in it.
Okay. Any other questions? No?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Tabacali? Tabacacci.
Have a lot.
Tabalachi.
Thank
Sorry.
you as well.
Okay, thank you very much. You have a good evening. You'll hear from us soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Right, application number 2. Application of Caitlin and Jerome Prosa, 33 Lincoln Street, Babel, New York, for permission to construct a semi-in-ground pool on the premises located at 33 Lincoln Street, Babylon, requiring variance to increase the lot coverage from 25% permitted to 35.4% proposed. Property located in A7 district, Suffolk County Real Property Tax Map District 0102, Section 3, Block 2, Lot 76. Application made in accordance with Sections 365.15 and 365.35.
Hi there. Good evening, guys.
Good evening, Caitlin.
Good evening. So pretty simply, we are just looking to put a semi-in-ground pool, 12 by 16 feet in our yard. From what I understand, where we're looking to put it, it is in accordance with, I guess, the setbacks that are required off the fence and property lines. It's obviously for personal use, just, you know, my husband, I, and the kids. And, you know, everything else would be obviously dug within accordance. I believe it was 18 inches is the depth allowed. We do have a 6-foot privacy fence around the entire property. And I believe that's all that would be required.
Okay. The only question I have, I'm looking at the site plan.
Sure.
And you put it, you drew in where this is going to go.
Yeah.
Where is the filtering equipment going to be?
So I was trying to look that up under the code. I do believe it had to be 6 or 8 feet off a fence, from what I understand. So where the pool would be, we were going to put a landscaping of a couple feet around it, you know, dirt. So we would probably put some shrubs and kind of put it right there alongside the pool.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said already you have a 6-foot fence around, and you understand the rules also have to be self-locking coming from the street side, right?
Yes, they are. Yes.
Okay. So really, you're just looking for the coverage from 25 to 35.
Correct. Yes.
Cover the pool.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess you're looking to do this spring or ASAP, right?
I have a dig date of May 12th.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't, I'm very fortunate to be here today on this Zoom call, because I would have had a couple issues, but
Okay.
yeah, we're looking to do it soon.
Okay. All right. I don't have any other questions. Gentlemen, Nancy?
I'm
Questions?
good.
That's good. Okay, you'll hear from us shortly, very shortly.
All right. Thanks. I don't need to be on for the duration of the call, correct?
No, you're free to go.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. Have a good evening.
You too now.
Application number 3. Application of Roberto Nicolia, 100 Thompson Avenue, Babel, New York, for permission to construct a 1,625 square foot garage, a 65 by 25, with a 650 square foot roof, 10 by 65, over the patio to the dwelling on the premises located at 100 Thompson Avenue, Babel, New York, requiring a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 15 feet required to 5 feet proposed, to increase the height limits from 15 feet required to 26 feet, 6 5/8 inches proposed. Property located in A11 District, Suffolk County Real Property Tax Map District 0102, Section 13, Block 2, Lot 14.001. Application made in accordance with Sections 365.13 and 365.35.
Hi, good evening. My name is
Good evening.
Christopher Nicolia. I'm the attorney for the applicant. My father, Roberto Nicolia. My address is 612 Muncie Avenue, Lindenhurst, New York, 11757. We're here tonight for the proposed garage at 1,625 square feet with a 650 square foot roof over patio that is immediately to the south on the south side of the structure. It's requiring a 5 foot, it has a side yard setback of 5 feet instead of the required 15 feet. And there's a reason for that. Actually, there's two very good reasons for it. This is going to be, the roofed over patio portion is going to be basically the pool relaxation area for my client's grandchildren. And he wanted to have them far enough from the pool that if we got a runner, which several of them are, that there's enough space between where they're located and the pool to allow for their respective parent to grab them. In addition to that, locating the garage in that location is ideal because that would be the natural extension of the driveway. It would perfectly align to completely comply with the setbacks. Would require the garage to be shifted and the driveway to take up as it extends to the garage, to take up a tremendous amount of otherwise green space. It's significant to point out, or noteworthy to point out, that on the premises, there currently exists already an additional accessory structure in the back, a boathouse that maintains a side yard setback of 4 feet, as opposed to the 5 feet we're requesting here. So we're not really making any further encroachments into the side yard. All we're doing, I guess, we're creating a new structure in alignment with the current driveway. The area where it will encroach into the side yard is currently screened from the neighbor's property with some fairly significantly tall arborvitaes or similar type trees. And if we're required to supplement them further, which I don't think will be necessary, but we'd be more than willing to do so.
Okay. And those are yours?
Yes.
Behind it?
Some of them are ours and some of them belong to the neighbor.
Okay.
We have trees on both sides of the fence.
Right.
Yeah, the one
There
obvious
is-
question is, have you talked to the neighbor about on that side?
Yes, I spoke to Mr. Belavia numerous times about it. He did not indicate he had a problem with it when I spoke to him.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to keep that vegetation. I had one question. You filled out a short form, for secret, right?
Yes.
For the
Yes.
application. And let's see, for question 13, it says portion of the site or lands adjoining the proposed action contain wetlands or other water bodies regulated by the federal, okay. Okay, so this is for, let's look at it again. Okay, so it's just adjacent to wetland, which is up by you. So you're going to connect this to water. So what's going to be actually in this? This says you're going to have, it will propose connect to the existing public private water supply. It says
That's
so you're going to
correct.
have, so there's going to be what in this building? I guess that's where.
You're going to have a 4-car garage, and there's going to be an overhang for the children to hang out by the pool. And there'll be a bathroom in there for a shower, so I can shower my grandchildren, people coming out of the pool, that kind of stuff. And the back section will be basically storage, patio furniture in the winter times, jet skis, that kind of stuff, just a big storage area.
Okay, so there's no cooking facilities, things of that nature on the park.
We have, on the
something
other
like that.
side we have an outdoor kitchen that's already approved. So we have cooking on the other side of the property, if you notice it on the survey. So we have an outdoor kitchen, which was approved already.
One thing I would like to point out is this will not be an active garage with constant traffic in and out. This is going to be for the storage of 4 specific collectible cars that he already owns. So we're not contemplating any further vehicle.
I don't think the board's concerned about what he's necessarily using the garage for. I think we're concerned about the bulk and the height. And you already have a boathouse on the property. And then on the other side of the pool, you have an area that looks like an area that's like a recreation area, almost like a pool house. I guess that's where your outdoor kitchen is. So now you're building a a larger structure on the property, an additional structure on the property, and you're going to have, another area where you have plumbing facilities and kitchen facilities. It just seems like, I know it's a big property, but it just seems like there's a lot going on this site. And
No kitchen facilities.
well, you have a kitchen. Well, you have a kitchen you have an outdoor kitchen on the other side. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Correct.
and then so you'll have plumbing and electric and everything else in the garage that will have a shower and an area to hang out. So I'm curious what the other side is used for. I thought that would be the area where you would hang out.
Well, so last summer, I actually had to jump in the pool with fully clothed because, like I said, we had a runner, and it was the area that is currently existing is mainly used as there's, I think, 3 barbecues there. It's a dining area mainly. And there's there's some space for lawn chairs, but this sounds ridiculous to say, but it's quite cramped when you consider how close it is to the pool itself. And we had
it sounds crazy when you say it's cramped.
I
think, speaking for the entire board, I think when you say your client's property is cramped,
let's put things in perspective. We all know what I do for a living. I'm an outdoor living component person. That's what I do for a living. We block paving stones. We do outdoor living. I live what I sell. I believe in what I sell. My wife opened up the Babylon Mercantile, so that kitchen area is where she got the basis to start and built her dream. So she's an avid cook. We don't do outside entertaining, of course. So the area that we're referring that you were entertaining is basically for cooking. And as if you have small grandchildren, cooking and small grandchildren really don't work together. You got hot barbecues and things going on there. So I really don't want them on that side of the property. So that's why I'm trying to put them on the other side of the property where they can relax and have fun. They're safe. I have a fenced in, the dock area is fenced in. So it's more for my grandchildren being on the other side of the property where they're not by the outdoor kitchen, because barbecues are hot, little 2-year-olds, they have a tendency of touching hot things. So it's more of a safety, putting them on the other side. There is no accommodations for them on where the outdoor kitchens are.
Okay. Is there, I'm going back to the secret. I found the right section of secret. You indicated that the site is in the 100-year flood zone, right? Is this location, is this particular facility in a flood zone?
The premises that we're talking about is in FEMA, or the portion of the premises that we're talking about is in FEMA AE5. Towards Carl's River, we go to AE7, and a small piece in the front yard is in zone X.
Right, but I'm talking about the specific garage that you're talking about. Is that going to have to be, what level is it going to have
So the level where the boathouse is at elevation 5. The level where the outdoor kitchens are, and this is going to be at elevation 8. The house is at elevation 12.
Okay.
So after Sandy, it was stepped up.
Right.
Because the house we were at, the original home that I knocked down was at elevation 7.5, which had flooded at 2 inches. So I brought the whole area that has existed, the new structures of the outdoor kitchen and this structure to elevation 8. The house went from 7.5 to 12.
Okay. So the 26-foot height, right, on the proposed garage is
starting at elevation 8.
Is taken off of what measurement though? We measure off the crown of the road.
Crown of the road is elevation 6.
Okay, so the 26 is what off the crown of the road? Just so we're all on the same page. That's
all right.
20.
So I don't know the total height of the structure.
Bear with me 1 second. Let me grab the full drawings.
All right, go ahead. And while he's looking for the drawings, the other question I had on the secret, and
I can reduce the peak because the peak is the width, and they go up. I can reduce that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure we're all on the same page. That's all.
Yeah. No. So the street is elevation 6. The building at elevation 8.
Okay. All right. And the other question I had was on the secret. It says that there was a question 20. Has the site been the subject of remediation, either ongoing or completed for hazardous waste? Somebody check the box, yes.
All right, so the secret form in the DEC
Yep.
auto populates now. And it checked that off and we couldn't unclick it. And this has been a residential site forever. And
Right.
when I spoke with the DEC, they said, oh, we don't have any records of this site ever having remediation.
Okay, because I was going to,
I tried for quite some time to figure out a way to do it, but it auto populates and then fuzzes it out.
I'm bulkheaded, so I don't have DEC jurisdiction.
I understand. I just thought we may have found something else I wasn't aware of, so that's why I'm asking, only because it says it, you know.
No, yeah, that took about a day of phone calls to figure out.
Okay, so what did you find out in terms of the height? Just so,
I had to jump back in.
Well, I think the height, if my memory is clear, so the height is at 28. If it's based on the crown of the road, so would be +2. So according to what you're
Okay.
saying, the 30, I could reduce the crown. I could reduce it to the 28 based on the crown and the elevation of 8 that I'm starting at.
okay, we'll consider it when we
Yeah,
talk.
I mean, that's just how much you pitch the roof. It's not a big deal.
Right, right.
Really, there's no, I'm not designing it for a second floor nor storage up there. So it's
Gotcha.
basically designed for the garage. So I can reconfigure the roof to work with the restrictions that the village requires.
Fine. All right, let's just wait. We'll wait for them to come back and then, anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I can't seem to find that information on hand right now.
Okay,
So
all right. All right, well, maybe you can find out from your, just to double check from your, disappear. Your elevations, yeah, they don't give a sense. Looks like from, it just looks,
It's measured from grade of the
It is
existing
grade.
grade.
yeah,
So they would not be using it from the street height. It'd be from the existing grade.
right, okay. So with existing,
The
you're saying
elevation.
grade is 8,
28
the other one's 6. It's gonna be
28
4.
becomes 30.
Okay. Got it. And then the siding and things are gonna match the home, or?
Yeah, I haven't decided exactly. If you look at the other structures, if you look at the house, I'm sure most of you have seen it when you pass by to check the signs. So we have the new cedar, which is a cedar look. We have stone, and we have some AZAC. So it's going to be a combination of the 3 things that I currently have in the house. So everything matches outside. So I'm contemplating probably doing some bottom AZAC wainscoting with the new cedar look on top with some highlights of AZAC.
Got it.
I don't think I'm going to go masonry with the stone that's on the bottom of the home that I currently have.
Right. Okay.
I want to keep it light. I'm not looking to go for a heavy look in the backyard.
All right. Anybody else? Questions? No? Okay. Looks like we got everything we need. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
thank you. Have a good evening.
You'll hear from us soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Application number 4, application of John and Stephanie Graf, 9 Lee Avenue, Babylon, New York, for permission to construct an above-ground pool, as well as a second-story deck with a staircase to the ground floor deck, requiring variances for the staircase and to reduce the total side yard setback from 20 feet permitted to 16 feet proposed, and to increase lot coverage from 25% permitted to 33.4% proposed at the premises located at 9 Lee Avenue, Babylon, New York. Property located in A7 District, Suffolk County Real Property Tax Map, District 0102, Section 20, Block 2, Lot 14. Application made in accordance with Sections 365-15, 365-26, and 365-35.
Hi, how are you? Hopefully you can hear my wife and we're here
Yes.
tonight.
And you can hear
So-
us.
We can. Thank you all for your time. In advance of the meeting tonight, I drafted a letter for your consideration with, sort of some of the bullet points as to why I'm hoping the board will, grant us the variance. I think the primary concern, at least from what I've understood, our previous meetings had to do with a staircase that we want to construct from the second story deck to the first story deck. Hopefully you can see I submitted a floor plan of the house, which evidences that the upstairs of the house was a dormer that was done, in accordance to code and by all permits many years ago, had a small deck put off of it. The dormer has two small bedrooms. One of them is our master bedroom. The other one is my home office. There are sliding glass doors from the upstairs bedrooms that come out to a very small deck, a 7x22 deck that's not really conducive to entertaining or really anything for that matter. Can't even fit a dining set. And so we're looking to increase the size of the upstairs deck to put a nice patio table on it and some lounge chairs, with stairs going down to an adjoining lower deck that will be finished underneath. The underneath will be used as sort of an outdoor living space. And we've included in the design a pool. It's an above ground pool that's going to be sunk, I think, according to code, which I believe is 30 inches. So we're sinking the pool. The deck will adjoin to it. And so the intent is, it's for family use. I know original concerns around an apartment, and I think I listed in my letter all of the reasons why my house is not conducive to an apartment. But I think practically speaking, that the stairs to the deck is necessary, not just for usage, so that we're not having guests coming through our upstairs bedrooms to entertain, but so people from the pool can get, upstairs to the upstairs deck without having to come through the house, without having to come through my living room and my kitchen and my family room. But, also for safety purposes. I mean, as you can imagine, on the second story, should there be a fire and the first floor is on fire and the stairs are on fire, we need a point of egress. So to me, for fire safety reasons, I think it's important that the deck has stairs to get out. And additionally, if someone was in the pool, in need of help, if we were upstairs, we have children. If they're in the pool and are in need of help, or anyone's in need of help, we have to go through the house to get to them. So the stairs add that safety feature. And I guess, lastly, I think something that I've mentioned in the past, and I think it's been acknowledged, is there are homes in Babylon Village. We've gone around, we've seen them with second story decks with stairs. Two of them are on my immediate block. I know you've come and taken a look, from Water's Edge at the back of my house. Surely you've seen a house 2 doors down with stairs and multi-level decks, house couple of doors from that with the deck with stairs. So I feel like there's definitely precedence in Babylon Village. We're looking to do the right thing, have it approved by code and to do it right. I think there's a lot of rationale for the deck, for usage, for safety, for value. And there's a lot of rationale why an apartment wouldn't make sense. That no one was going to rent an apartment where there's zero privacy, where I'm sitting on my deck, literally looking into their sliding glass doors and seeing them in their apartment, nor would I want people in an apartment looking out at me on my deck while I'm using it. So that the intent of the deck has nothing to do with an apartment. We have no ability to rent the upstairs of our house. We have no intent to rent the upstairs of the house. And I think, as I've included in the letter, I'm more than happy to agree any stipulations that prevents me from putting an apartment. I acknowledge that fines would be levied should we do something like that illegally, which we would never do. You've heard from my neighbor, I think previously in a February meeting when Pete Scarlatus came, the only neighbor who will actually see the deck from the side yard, whose house adjoins the stairs, and he has no issues with it. So, I don't see there being any issues with my neighbors. I don't see there being any issues from an apartment perspective, and I'm hopeful, the board sees, eye to eye, but that's kind of our story.
Okay. But the other reason you're here is because we didn't include the pool coverage in the first time we met, right?
Well, so the way this came about, and I'll be very upfront, is
right.
I put in for planning in September, the planning board. I
Right.
couldn't get onto a zoning board until February, I think because of COVID, you all being backed up, and then I think there was a month or two you don't meet. And so in February, when we put in for the application, I had spoken to the office many, many times. Maureen can attest. And I said, I'm going to be putting in a pool. And I was told, okay, just put the pool design onto the plans, the architectural plans, which were submitted in February, as well as the survey. The survey says proposed pool. And so I thought it was self-explanatory in February that we were putting in a pool. It was in the design, it was in the survey, and clearly we don't have a pool. We don't have approval for a pool, so I would think the
Right.
board would have recognized at the time pool was put in, but that was missed, and so be it. March, I know you met and discussed. I think at some point I had a conversation for about 10 minutes with one of the gentlemen on the board, and I explained on the phone to that gentleman, again, my rationale for the project. But in March, we weren't able to attend. We were told you all would discuss our situation, and then we were told, come back for April. So here we are. I've pushed back builders now multiple times, and as you can imagine, pushing back pool builders and deck builders at this time of year is very difficult. The cost of my project has gone up since we've begun this entire application process because of building materials. If you follow building materials, Trex decking, which we're using, is very pricey, as is wood. I need helical piles. We're doing it with steel beams. So this deck is structurally as sound as you can get. We've used a reputable architecture firm. They've designed a deck, to my understanding, that will withstand any storm. The project cost has gone up about $4,000 since the time I started this in September to now. And I have these companies lined up for the beginning of May, to be honest, to start this project. And if I lose that time, I'll lose my summer. So it's imperative to me that the board moves swiftly. If you're going to deny the application, let me know. I'm hopeful that you're going to approve it. I would like at least the approval to get started with the pool project, because I have an excavator scheduled for the beginning of May, the first week of May, and then an installer shortly thereafter, and then a deck builder. So
Yeah, I think we're able to make a decision relatively quickly. But the pool issue was one that, yes, we saw it on one of the plans, but it was never brought up in conversation. It's not our job to find stuff that's on the plan, right? You have a responsibility as well to make sure that if it requires something, that it's asked for. So, I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to point the finger here, there, or anywhere. But there's, we really should have talked about this the first time.
I agree, and I take some responsibility for that as well. I didn't realize that the pool would be as much of a factor. I think on one of the pieces to the application. So in the application, I literally copied verbatim the language I received in the zoning letter about the need for the various variances. And then I think in one of the other documents, I included something about putting in a pool, but I also included all the pool paperwork too. In fairness, I included the pool contract and a lot of.
That's fine, but the issue is every one that we get
The application.
done by a third party does a calculation of what the square footage is of the pool to see whether or not it exceeds the 25% allowance. That's what people do. We don't do those we check the calculations we're provided. We don't do them.
I understand that.
That's all.
But your point about the February meeting, the pool not coming up, on me, I should have brought it up, but I think the board in its full diligence should have seen lots of pool paperwork, pool in a plan, projected pool on a survey. So at this point, it is what it is.
Pool paperwork doesn't mean anything to us unless it exceeds the coverage. You could put a pool in as long as it doesn't exceed the coverage and you're within the setbacks. We don't talk about every pool that's being built in the village.
Okay, I understand. Listen, I'm new to this process. I've never put in for this, application with Babylon Village. I've never done any work on my home in Babylon Village. So it's been a learning experience for me. But hopefully you can see we're being very honest upfront here and trying to follow the rules. And so, we are where we are now. It's coming into late April. I got game day coming up in May. So I'm hopeful we can get the approvals so that, I can start getting the permits and move this project forward.
Well, like I said, I'm hopeful we can get a decision to you very quickly.
Okay. And I assume you talk amongst yourselves. In the instance, are you leaning towards approving this? Are you leaning towards denying this? I mean, I'd just like to know where we stand, and so I can start thinking
We don't,
about.
we don't lean. When we get ready, we make a decision. So you'll know soon.
Will that be this coming week, I'm hopeful?
You'll know soon.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Do you have any other questions for me on the project? I'm happy to answer anything you have.
Let me ask, does anybody have any other questions?
Minor answer.
Okay, we got everything we need.
All right, great. Well, thank you all for your time. And again, I wish you the best, and I appreciate you listening to our application and hearing us through.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, lastly, application number 5, application of Bethany Ruggiero, Garvey, 130 Little East Neck Road South, Babel, New York, for permission to construct an addition on the premises located at 130 Little East Neck Road, Babel, requiring a variance on the Little East Neck Road south side to reduce the front yard setback from 35 feet as required to 19 feet as proposed, requiring a variance on the Gamecock Lane side to reduce the front yard setback from 35 feet as required to 13 feet as proposed, and to increase the total lot coverage from 25% required to 26.4% proposed. Property located in A11 District, Suffolk County Real Property Tax Map District 0102, Section 15, Block 1, Lot 8. Application made in accordance with sections 365.13 and 365.35.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us.
Okay,
So,
explain what you're looking to do.
hi. So we're looking to add an extension onto our house that encroaches a little bit onto our setbacks. So we are looking for a variance on, we live on a corner. So I'm looking for a variance for the side on Little East Neck Road and one on Gamecock Lane, really just increasing our total lot coverage from 25 to 27.6%. It's a 2.6% increase.
Okay. Somebody, now just explain the setback to me on Gamecock. It's a challenging property, I can tell you.
Yes, it is.
Right, the dimension wise.
Yes, it is, sir.
I'm trying to figure out what's the closest point on Gamecock that gave us 13 feet?
That is a really good question. Because on my survey, it shows 25 feet.
We clip it in that corner.
It's just a little tiny portion of the corner of the building that just kind of encroaches.
Right.
It's just a little tiny spot. On the corner there.
On the proposed structure.
On the proposed structure.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the shed that is on Little East Neck Road, it's getting moved back.
Yeah, and the architect, yeah, it's going to be moved. It's going to be turned actually. So the architect didn't draw it correctly, but it's going to be turned, and there'll be more, space around it to walk and maneuver.
Okay.
And it's really just asking to move the fence line from where it is up a few feet. Mainly because we have such an odd shaped yard, it would just give us a few more feet of green property, because that whole side yard that we have there is essentially wasted, useless space. So I just wanted to see if I could get permission just to move that fence up a little tiny bit.
I see. Okay. Okay. I don't have any other questions. Gentlemen, Nancy?
Okay, excellent.
I just have one other thing, and Bruce, the second floor balcony,
Yes.
that has to go before the planning board if you still wish to do it?
Yes, I have an appointment on the 29th next week to cover that. And, you know, we're not even sure if we're going to do it. We just, we probably will, but I do realize, and we do have an appointment on the 29th next week to cover that, to make sure that's kosher.
Okay.
But you won't put any stairs to it, right?
No, there's no stairs. No. And I should mention, since I don't want to cause any problems like the last applicant had, but we hope to put an above the ground hot tub, which is on the drawing. It doesn't impede, it doesn't, you know, take away, it doesn't impede on the setbacks that we have in place. So I don't know if there's anything else I need to do on that front. But it's above the ground.
I don't think the hot tub counts towards coverage because I think they consider it a movable structure.
Okay.
It's not like a pool where it's fixed to the ground, and you know, in the previous application, I believe it's even partially in the ground.
Okay.
So at that point, it goes towards coverage, but a hot tub doesn't factor in towards coverage.
Okay, great. And it will be on the slab. So, thanks.
Okay. So hearing no other questions? Shortly. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Okay, we have the second speaker for the application now. Third member of the public, Lynn Smith. Adding her now.
I think you're on mute, Ms. Smith. You're still on mute. If you can hear us, it shows you're on mute. Kevin, was she able to speak to you?
No, she's still, I saw her video icon pop off for a second. So I think she can hear us. Ms. Smith, if you're on a computer, you're going to want to click on the microphone icon in the bottom left. It may ask you to select a speaker or microphone. If you're on a phone, just tap the screen. You'll see the same icon in the bottom left.
You can also hold down. She could also hold down the space bar.
Yeah.
To unmute.
One other thing I'm going to try, Mrs. Smith, if you can hear me, I'm going to put you back in as an attendee and then add you as a panelist again. It will prompt you to start your video and audio. So hold on one second.
Still on mute.
Good. Sign of something here.
Yeah.
Can she type into the chat? Maybe she could ask a question in the chat.
Ms. Smith, if you can hear us, the only other option is to use the email that you got. Yep. She's still here. Video's gone though. Use the email that you received with the registration. There's a link, and use the call-in number instead. Dial the number and enter the passcode, and you'll join. Like if you want to drop off this and then try that, that way we know you hear us. I'm just pulling up the phone number again, kind of running out of options here. The phone number to read off. Let's see.
Is it possible to put it on the screen, Kevin, or are you going to read it off?
Yes.
You could also message it to her. Maybe it'll pop up on her screen.
Nope, wrong one. Here we go. So Ms. Smith, if you can see the screen, you can dial, or if you can hear, it's 646-558.
Microphone. I got it. I chatted with her. I sent her a chat. She said her microphone is not working. She'll email later.
Oh, okay.
Great.
There you go. I see. Okay.
You have competition,
I
Kevin.
guess we're all set then. I mean,
no, Kevin
no
can
offense.
keep it.
It's not
He
too
can
hard.
keep it.
It's just too much fun, John, though.
No. I spent 4.5 hours in a Zoom meeting last night. I'm over them.
Zoomed
now.
out.
You're zoomed out.
I want to
We
go.
all
In,
are,
I want to
yes.
meet back in person.
Okay.
I'm sure that Mrs. Smith, this is her first or last experience. Mrs. Smith, I'm sure, agrees with us. She's done with Zoom. So,
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ms. Smith, I'm going to remove you from the meeting. We're still going to stay on live. So I believe you guys have other decisions. So, thank you, Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, and if you'd like to give us any comments, she can get them to the clerk's office. That would be fine.
Absolutely. I believe she can hear us. Yeah, she wrote thank you.
She wrote okay.
Okay. So it's we're back to just us, Kevin?
Mhm.
Okay.
We are back to just us, still live streaming. Let me know. I'm going to wait for you to adjourn when you're done with the other stuff. Were there other items? Sorry.
There are, well, we are going to go over a few other items, but I wanted to go over actually a couple of things. First, I was going to ask, since we're all on, I want to ask for a motion to approve the minutes of March 2021. First, to ask if there were any comments on those minutes that Maureen distributed. Okay, not hearing any comments, I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
So
I'll
moved,
move.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Unanimous. Okay, so let's get talking about this evening's applications. First application, Joan Tavalacci, 20 Washington Street. Any questions on this one? Entertain a motion?
I feel bad making a motion to deny. They really seem to love those chickens. They do photo shoots and.
I don't
I know.
doubt it. It's just a question of where you keep it. You know?
No, I understand. I'll make a motion to refer to council.
Okay,
I'll be the bad guy.
in contemplation of denial.
Correct.
Okay, I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Fine, unanimous. All right. Second application, Caitlin and Jerome Prosa, 33 Lincoln Street. Any issues with this one? Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for approval for the application of Caitlin and Jerome Prosa at 33 Lincoln Street, Babylon, New York. for
Okay.
permission to construct a semi-in-ground pool on the premises located at 33 Lincoln Street, requiring a variance to increase the lot coverage from 25% to 35.4% proposed.
Okay, have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Unanimous. Application of Roberto Nicolia, 100 Thompson Avenue, to construct a garage with a roof, square roof over the patio dwelling. Any issues with this one? Questions?
I just want to deny it because of that comment about it being cramped.
That was funny.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one to
His
prove.
garage is bigger than my first floor. I mean, come on.
But he's got a lot of property,
Right.
He's got a lot of cars.
a lot of cars, a lot of property, and
It was unknown, but
conversation with the next door neighbor, Mr.
Right.
Next door. So,
I guess
good.
the question is the height of the building.
Yeah,
Yes.
What will we accept as the ultimate height of that
Mhm.
structure?
yeah. Well, he showed us a structure that was 26 feet.
Right.
Right, so that's what it would look like at 26. We could say that we accept that structure, but just do that measurement from the crown of the road, which would basically mean, it wouldn't be 26, it'd be like 24. That's basically what would happen,
Mhm.
down to that level.
Yeah, my concern is subsequent owners converting that space to some other use in the future.
That's always an issue, you'd like to say less likely in a home like that, right?
Mhm.
That's been my experience is generally if you're spending $2 and $3 million on a home, you don't need the secondary income from a rental unit.
No, it could be the chauffeur's quarters though. I mean,
It could be if we were in the Gatsby era.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with a few homes where they do have chauffeur quarters, so.
Yeah. So, well, it's not built for that.
We could put a condition on it that it not be converted to
Living space.
any kind of accessory dwelling unit. I mean, it's superfluous because it's not permitted under code, but if it makes you feel better, we can do that.
Yeah.
okay.
So then we need to pick a number on the roof. So we're either comfortable with 26, but measured from the crown of the road, which would mean 28. Or we can say something like, it really doesn't matter to him since it's not livable space.
Right.
So we could say 20, we could bring it down to 24, which would basically do the same.
See it down to 24.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the application, but with a modification that the height be reduced from 26 feet to 24 feet, with a condition that the garage not be converted to a living, like a dwelling.
Okay. And the 24 feet measured
from the crown of the road.
from the crown of the road. Okay. I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Unanimous. Okay. Application of John and Stephanie Graf for the above ground pool as well as the second story deck with staircase. This was the one we brought back under reconsideration last month. There was issues about the second story stairs. Any discussion?
No, I think it's pretty clear.
Okay, then I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the application of John and Stephanie Graf for the pool. However, have our attorney prepare a determination of findings with respect to the staircase in contemplation of denial.
Okay, have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Fine.
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay.
Well, no, Bruce,
I'm sorry.
I just, I want to vote no on the application only because I don't necessarily think in this particular case. I think it was my opinion when I first reviewed the application that based on the circumstances surrounding the deck and the fact that the adjoining property's first story deck was as high as his second story deck, and it went into an existing bedroom, I really didn't have a problem with the staircase. You know, that's just my personal opinion. I understand the board and I understand the board's philosophy on it, but it's just my personal opinion that I don't think in that one particular instance, I didn't think it was that big a deal. And I feel, you know, I don't feel like I could change it off of what we've heard about the code, et cetera.
Okay. All right. That's fair. So it's 4-1. Okay. We'll move on. Next one, application of Bethany, Ruggiero, Garvey, 130 Little East Neck Road for this addition at 130 Little East Neck Road. Any discussion on this?
Bruce, can I just interrupt for 1 second?
Sure.
I just noticed that when I wrote the legal, when it said for this application, the Gamecock side, where it says side to reduce the front yard setback from 35 feet.
Yep.
Required to 13, it should be 22 feet. 13 is the variance that they're asking for.
Okay. That's what I was looking for. Good.
And that makes sense where you were looking for that 13 then.
Yep.
Then I went back to look at it, so.
Okay. Fine.
Okay.
Any discussions on this? Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the application
Okay.
as submitted.
As submitted. Any second?
I'll
We have
second.
to- we have
Okay.
to-
All those in favor?
Anything in that motion with respect to the plan submitted and the decision of the planning board?
They're going to planning board for what?
For a balcony.
Oh, for a balcony. Now, planning we don't approve the balcony.
No.
It doesn't factor into any of the variances, right? So, or if it does, we're covering it. So it probably doesn't really matter.
Okay.
It's a planning board decision on the balcony. As long
Yeah,
as-
exactly.
Right, so, okay. So we had a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. All right, old news. Let's go to Water's Edge Court.
Cool.
Application of Laura Coletti, the architect on this. And we've been back and forth on this with the applicant a couple of times, looking for concerns over the side yard variance. We've gotten a new set of plans. I think the overall opinion was they haven't really seemed to move much off the side yard. And so I think what we have before us is ready for a decision. So I'll ask if there are any other questions on this or any discussion. Okay, then I'm ready to entertain a motion on R&O.
Anybody? I'll make the motion.
Okay. All right. I hear you. What would you like to do? This is another, whoops, I lost you, John.
Wait, what happened?
I don't know, I lost you for a second.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening with my computer right now. I'm getting all these things. I have to come back to you. I have to punch out for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay, okay. All right, well, he's coming back. Let's, any issues with, let's go move on to James Street and then we'll come back. Everybody have an opportunity to review the amended James Street decision, 38 James Street decision.
Yes.
Yes.
Any questions, any other modifications for that? Or is that ready for vote? Sounds like we're ready.
Yep, we're ready.
Okay, just want to make sure this way when John comes back on, we can handle that as well. And meanwhile, Maureen, if you can get the Grafs, we referred that to David, but if you can ask him if he could get on that one relatively quickly. I'm sure the Grafs are going to call you tomorrow to find out what the decision was, but they may move on that action. But I would like to get something to them in writing. If
Okay.
David put something together pretty quickly.
Okay.
Okay. You back, John?
Yeah, sorry about that. I had some kind of pop-up on my screen and I couldn't shut it down. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, no problem. You were about to make a motion on
Wait, which one was Arnone again? I'm sorry.
Water's
I
Edge,
know-
Water's Edge Court. Water's Edge.
So, yeah, I want to make the motion to deny the west side yard setback based on the revised plan submitted.
Okay.
And then approve the remainder of the application.
Okay, I got you.
So I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the setback to the sunroom after it was moved. The lot coverage after they removed the portion of the deck. My issue is with that garage and the encroachment into that side yard.
Right.
So I would deny that setback only and then refer that to council for findings and then approve the remainder of the application.
Got it. Okay. There's a motion on the table. A second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Anybody opposed? Okay, great, thank you. And then lastly, we talked about 38 James Street. There were nobody had any other comments on the revised statement of findings from council. So I will ask, I'll make a motion to accept council's findings and to deny 38 James Street in accordance with those findings. I'll ask for a second.
A
Second.
second. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. I don't believe, Maureen, we have anything else on the agenda this evening?
No, we don't.
No, so we're pretty much cleaned up on the any old business as well as new stuff, right?
Yeah, we'll have no old business right now.
Okay, and we haven't heard anything more recent on when these meetings are going to get back, right, to in person?
No, we're still trying to figure out when they're gonna open the doors,
Okay.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Okay.
I'll ask again and see, but I don't think the
Have you-
May one will be, maybe June, I don't know.
I heard from NICOM that they're probably shooting more towards September before they start loosening the restrictions.
Gotcha.
Only because I think a lot of boards kind of bail out in the summertime, like they don't have as many meetings. So why force it if they're not really meeting anyway? And
Mhm.
September seems to make the most sense.
Right.
But things change every day with this.
Yeah. Okay.
There was just a new executive order extending this one to May 16th, but John's comment makes sense as far as what I know as well.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
again, just to remind everybody that the restriction is not that it has to be live streamed or zoomed. It's only if you're not able to provide a safe place, cover the current restrictions. And if anyone's looked at the numbers the last week or so, that they're plummeting. So with any hope in the next month or two, the numbers will be back to kind of very low levels where they were over the summer. Again, while you can keep it Zoom, I'm biased towards that because it's easier and I get to hang out. But you don't have to do it via live all the way to September, but chances are the rules will be in place for a while. So
Right. Okay.
my 2 cents.
All right. Well, listen, everybody have a good month. Be safe.